Hey guys, how are you? I know it's been a minute since I recorded, but hi, I'm Bia if you're stumbling in this video randomly, and today we are going to talk about Ferris wheel press inks. I already did a TikTok unboxing these and swatching these. So these are the inks that we are looking today. One of these Bluebell brush strokes was the one that was missing on my last video, and so they provided it to me. They're very similar in a way. I believe this is the Bluebell and this is the Cobalt. Yeah, that makes sense. Cobalt. It's a more deep blue and this is a bit more greeny, and then this one is Whispers of Twilight, which is a fairy tales. So today I think we're just gonna draw. It's been a minute since I did anything like this. The plan for today is to draw something. I'm not sure yet where. I haven't tried the inks in my sketchbook on this one, so maybe I'm thinking this one could be cool. I don't know if I'm going to use the inks yet on this one because it has a little bit more of a texture, and I normally prefer smooth papers for inks, so I might just carry on filling out this sketchbook, which is the one I've been doing the swatches and everything else. So yeah, most of the inks I just swatched and did the drawing on the next page. Something else is also this Bijou fountain pen, which actually might be my favorite so far. It's so gorgeous. I'm not sure if it shows, but it is stunningly. It has a ton of little flakies. It's so pretty, and the Bijou pens are always amazing. I just really like them. And yeah, I think this is my favorite so far, and I am completely thankful for as always, for Ferris Wheel Press. A quick disclaimer as well before we start. Ferris Wheel Press is not sponsoring this video, but I am part of their ambassador program, which means I get these goodies for free to share with you guys, and you can also use my code BBSchoolArt15, I believe. It's been a while, I'll write it here. I don't even remember at the moment my code. I think I'm gonna do a sketch here off camera because it takes me a while to sketch, and I think we can start doing the painting. And I'm not sure yet if this is just going to be real time and I'll just show you the whole process unsped, or maybe just 1 or 2 times speed. Okay, so I did a little sketch. It's something very simple. I don't have a lot of brain power at the moment to do something quite elaborate, so little head with waves it's gonna be. I hope it's okay, because yeah, since we have a pink and blues, I think it will be a very nice way to use these. I forgot a palette. Well, I cannot find the one I wanted. I'm going to pour some of the ink that is the Whispers of Twilight, and it has a lot of silver glitter. So I'm first gonna do a little bit without glitter. I started doing this because someone was very brilliant on my comments here on YouTube, and I was complaining one day that I always had so much glitter, and when you have a lot of glitter in the ink, it becomes difficult to layer because it just piles ink and ink and ink. And someone just said in the comments to do a little part of the ink without me shaking it, which it's so simple, but it fixed my problem immediately. So if the person that commented that is still watching my videos, thank you. I don't remember who it was so long ago. I think it was really in the beginning of me doing the Ferris Wheel Press videos. So yeah, let me just get the rest. This I don't need to not shake because I don't have glitter. So I think I'm gonna use both. So I'm gonna, oh my god. Jesus, no, cow. Oh god. Okay. Nobody panic. I'm panicking though. Oh my god. I'm so happy I did not put my Sakura card mat for this one. I was going to. Oh, I would have ruined it. So happy I didn't do that. Oh my god. Chaos ensues. Why am I like this? Okay. Everything is good. Just a little bit stained, but this table has seen worse. I have this table, I don't know, like 9 years. It's seen me through a lot of moves, and it's been good. So I'm gonna do just a bit more because I let everything out. Oh well. Okay. And a little bit of the bluebell. Since I haven't tried it out, I'm gonna. These inks are potent, are staining my little dropper thingy. Doesn't usually happen. I have another one, but I don't know where it is, and I really don't know where it is. The other palette, the Midden one, which I'm so like baffled by. It's so big. How did I lose it? To be honest, my house has been total chaos because I was prepping for Iberanim, and that con usually kicks my ass, and this one definitely did. For a little bit of context, if you're not Portuguese, Iberanim is at the moment, I think the biggest convention here in Portugal. We have Comic-Con, but it's currently on break, and so Iberanim usually is in Lisbon, which is the capital. However, this year it was in Santarém, which is a little bit to the north, I think. Sorry, geography, not my strongest suit. So yeah, this year was in Santarém, and most of the artists was pretty worried because we were afraid that most of the guests that usually go would not go due to it being far away from Lisbon. Like for cosplayers, it meant that like when it's in Lisbon, sure, you have to be a little bit on the metro in cosplay, which is doable. It's fine, especially if I go with friends. I did that alone and I was so nervous when I was younger. It means if you want to go immediately, like on the day, it means that you have to go on cosplay with a full ride of train, and we were a bit scared that people would not be interested in that, which totally fair. I probably would not be as well. And the hotels in Airbnb there are very limited since it's a smaller, not very small, smaller town city. That was this weekend, and it means my house is a complete mess because I leave a hurricane whenever I do con stuff, prep. Things that's just been a little bit more chaotic than normal because of that. I don't remember what I spoke last time I filmed. I don't remember if I talked a little bit about things I've been going. So to be blunt, my mental health has not been the best, and I started antidepressants and all that stuff at the beginning of the year. I had a very rough end of last year, and that made it so in the beginning of the year I looked for help, and I have been followed by a psychologist and a psychiatrist, and so far it's been night and day. So helpful, and they have been so caring, so careful with me. I've been working on that and just making sure that I'm fine and that yeah. I think there's a lot of stigma still about talking about mental health. I definitely am a little bit nervous sharing this because, yeah, it's very vulnerable. I actually did a little character based on how I've been feeling. I'm better now, at least I've been stable for a month and a half, I think. But I did make the character. I can put that on screen now. The part that I did, did a little fanzine about it, and I shared it on Instagram. And I was incredibly nervous to share that because I don't know. I don't really usually do artwork to express what I'm feeling or to be more deep. I most of the time just want to do things that people would find pretty and will make them feel well. And so sharing something more personal was definitely challenging, and the response was beyond what I was expecting. Everyone was super nice, and I got so many DMs saying that they needed to hear that on that day, and I don't know, it just made me really appreciate the community that I have built so far for the past whatever years I've been on Instagram. In case anyone's curious, I usually dry the inks using this little heat gun. I got it at a random store that had it, and I did that probably 7 years ago, and it's still here. It's not the most powerful heat gun, but it does what I needed to do, which is dry up material or like mediums. And I really like to dry ink between passes because, well, it allows me to continue faster. Yeah, I was talking about mental health, but to be honest, I think what most made me feel able to talk about this was you probably heard of this artist Sara Tepes. I think that's how you say her name. Her name is very similar to Portuguese, and so I just say like in the Portuguese way. But Sara Tepes. She basically started being more honest in YouTube videos about her mental health and like her diagnosis and all of that stuff. And I found that video so comforting and so, I don't know, so nice that I felt like maybe I could do it too. Still difficult for me to open up about stuff like this because it makes me feel very vulnerable, but I guess that's the point of opening up, is to make people know that they're not alone and that there are people that are going through the same things. And yeah, and that is what I wanted to do with my Gotinha project. And I got just the best support I could ask for and the best reaction I could ask for. Just seeing that it helped people in that day made it worth it. The whole nerves just being a mess before I posted. So yeah, if you were someone that messaged me or talked to me about it, thank you, because it really made a difference in showing me that, yeah, I can be a little vulnerable and it's fine. My focus lately is just to get better. I'm also looking for a job at the moment. Even though I love doing conventions, mostly because, to be honest, conventions to me, it's a giant hangout with my friends. I am more than blessed to have an amazing group of friends, and they are the best support system I could ask for. I don't know what I did to deserve them. And in conventions, most of the time, especially if they're away from our houses, we either stay in an Airbnb together, and this time we crashed a friend's house that actually from around there. And so it was just a gigantic hangout. It was so fun. These videos are gonna be a little bit more personal than usual. I hope you're okay with that. It felt wrong to just not ignore, but just pretend that everything's fine when it hasn't been. I don't know, I guess it helps other people knowing again that they are not alone and that we are all going through something at some point in our lives and we are only human. I'm gonna not talk for a little second because eyelashes are my most important part. I like them. Okay. But if that was wrong, I could just easily do that with bleach, which I know actually I'm just gonna connect it and I do the rest with bleach. If it's a medium I want to try more, just like full on painting it without it not just being some part of the final touches. Iberanim went great, actually, better than I expected, especially since it was in a new location. We were all a bit afraid, but turned out to be good. Only the end of the Sunday was a bit rough because they turned off the lights and it was very noisy because of the concert, but we made do. I luckily had some little lights we could use. I had a few people telling me that they watch my videos, which it always makes me feel so embarrassed because I don't know. I don't know why it makes you feel embarrassed, but it just does. Go figure. And so yeah, if you are watching, thank you for letting me know that you watch my videos, and actually that was the reason that I was more like able to do this. I have been avoiding filming for a while, knowing that some people are still waiting for me to do uploads, made me, okay, yeah, I want to go back, and I have so many unanswered comments. I will probably try and tackle those after I finish filming this video, because yeah, I feel so bad when I don't reply, but sometimes the simple act of replying to comments takes a lot of me. And not because people are mean or anything. I have been, again, blessed that even though I've been on internet like for a few years or now, like sharing my work and kind of putting myself out there, I only had like one or two, and I would not say even hate comments. It's just trolls that just say like, comment stuff about my appearance. No one said, oh, you suck, you draw badly. It was mostly just comments about my appearance. My plan for now is to not quite try to come back to YouTube. I don't think I'm at a phase where I can be like, yeah, I'm gonna come back with the same intensity and drive that I had before. I was doing, when I was doing like real YouTube, I was doing like one video a week, which personally feel like I cannot do that now. I don't know if I can handle that. Then I think I started doing like twice a month, and that sometimes depends on how I am and how I've been feeling. Also, if my voice sounds weird, I got sick after Iber, as usual, because my body keeps up with con prep and then it crashes at the end, but that's the usual. I'm already feeling much better. Even for Ferris Wheel Press, I'm not sure if I'm going to do a little break from them or not. I talked to them about if it's possible to do a little short break of doing content, just because I don't think I've been doing my best. They have been so kind, and they have been with me since like 5 years ago. I remember the first time I talked to them, they only had like 5 inks out. I basically have been with them since almost the beginning of them. They were a smaller-ish company when I reached out to them, and I remember I reached out to them at like midnight, being like, whatever, it's fine, whatever happens, happens, and they replied to me saying that they really liked my work and that they wanted to work together, which for me at the time was unthinkable that someone would want to work with me, and and here we are today, and it still baffles me every day that I am lucky enough to be able to have a working relationship with them, and they are always so kind. I recently did, if some of you might have seen, I recently was present in one of their lives when they were doing a few massive sales. I was basically painting on their live while they were, doing the sale. And the preparation for it, the whole thing, was so easy because they were so kind. They are just really approachable. I think that's what I want to say. They are so approachable and so kind, and I don't know, I had a blast doing that, and I hope I can do it again, because it was just so fun. When I started working with them, I did not even have my iPad yet, my first one. I didn't really do digital. It's because of Ferris Wheel Press that I haven't abandoned traditional altogether. For prints, for merch, everything else, it's easier to do art digital. You don't have to scan it, you don't have to worry about colors being not right, and it's just right there. Mostly the scanning process is what makes it not dealing with that, it's what makes it more handy. Most of my friends or people I know don't really do traditional anymore, especially younger artists think that you only can do digital to go to cons and everything else. I had conversations with a few young artists and they sometimes ask me, oh, I do traditional, is that okay? You're like, that is more than okay. It's beautiful to see booths with traditional work. I still have a few pieces on my stand that are traditional, and they are mostly from Ferris Wheel Press inks, because doing videos for them made me be at least once a month drawing traditionally. I know that might seem so little in a whole month only doing one traditional drawing, but for me that was huge, and I'll be forever thankful that this happened, because I think, for example, I have lost a lot of my confidence with watercolors. I lost a lot of it. Watercolor used to be the medium that I was more comfortable with. When I did the last couple reviews, I really noticed how out of practice I am. I was so unsure about everything. I just was scared of doing the wrong move, and when I was just doing watercolor every single time, I was so bold. Like, even with ink, for example, you saw me do this just now and nothing was planned, nothing was like, oh, I can't mess up there. I do love that ink keep me quite free when I'm working, at least the way that I draw. I don't, even in digital, my friends are always teasing me because I mostly do everything in one layer, just because it's more similar to traditional, and it's just more like, it was more natural for me to start doing that. I did try to do a few pieces that I did all the whole layers, but that didn't work for me. I got pretty bored pretty fast, and plus my wrist does not let me do a lot of detailed line work. I cramp up really easily if I do that, and so I just basically started doing not as detailed line work. I never really did that much anyway, but I do a very simple sketch and then I just go straight with color, basically. This is having a beautiful red sheen, which you can see. I'll try in the final clips show, but this ink has a beautiful red sheen, and I think it's the Cobalt one. I kind of mix both, so I don't really know which is which at this point. And I just realized I did so much pink here, but I don't really need that much. I'm gonna see if I can put it back in the bottle, which I didn't contaminate the other one, so I can just not waste this bit. I'm just gonna do this part. I think I want to slow down on cons a little bit. I just have not been in the best headspace sometimes to draw for merch, and sometimes I feel like I only draw for merch, and that was really putting a toll on me. I was just not feeling like I like that. I am trying my best to consciously be like, okay, I'm gonna draw for me, and if it does not work out, it's fine. Because what happens is I start doing crunch, like doing lots of work, and it doesn't go well. I freak out because I don't have a lot of time until the con, and I just wasted like 3 to 4 hours in a drawing that is going nowhere. And that mentality was putting a lot of pressure on every single drawing I did. And yeah, it was just not a healthy way to look at stuff. And at the moment, for example, for this convention, I had a little bit of a shift in my art style. I was not happy at all with the way I was doing this stuff, so I kind of just experimented and went with it. And so I did a collection of photo cards. The first and the last one have nothing to do with each other. The style is just the way that I paint is super different. And maybe 3 years ago or 2 years ago, I would be like, this isn't acceptable. It shows nothing, it's nothing alike. I have to do everything again. But I was just like, you know what? It's fine. It's totally fine that it does not have the same look exactly. Basically, I want to try to find a job to have some stability in my life. I would not stop cons altogether, of course. They are, like I mentioned, one of the ways that I can spend more time with my friends. So if possible, I would like to keep doing cons like once in a while, maybe 2 or 3 per year, like that, or just like, I don't know, just a few. Not being constantly worrying about what's the next con, like what's the next like deadline to sign in. That's something else that's really stressful. Like I said, I would not give up cons. I don't think I can at this moment. I don't think I could just let it go completely. I think I would miss it a lot. Because despite being so tiring, it's the time that I communicate with you guys, that I see you face to face, that I talk to you, or that you come up to my booth and you say, oh, I like your art, or just that interaction of people saying that they enjoy my art usually makes it worth it going to conventions, because sometimes I just get emotional. I start crying, because yeah, it's easy to just be at home focused on numbers and likes and everything else, and just forget what made you start, which is your love for drawing and for art. And I'm almost like done-ish. I'm just doing a little bits in here and there. Conventions are just, it's been a blessing that I'm able to go. When I was studying arts, first of all, I have not even heard of the concept of just going with artist stands to conventions. I grew up in a very small city, and so the first time I was able to go to like Comic-Con, for example, was the first anime convention I went. I was already 25-ish, I think, or 25, I think. First time I saw artists tabling, and yeah, I thought it was so cool, and it felt like something I could never reach. But with time and lots of work, I was able to get there. I don't think I could leave it, mostly because mini me would just be so pumped to see that we did it. We got someplace. Like, I'm not the most famous artist in the world, but I don't need that. I don't even want that. Posting online and seeing the community that turned around my work is more than I could ever dream would happen 5-7 years ago. I had never dreamed that was possible. It got a little mushy, this part. Sorry about that. I knew I was gonna ramble if I did this, but I don't know, I think it's fine to sometimes share this stuff with your audience, with your community, because at the end of the day, they are there obviously for your art first, but they also see you as a person, and the same way I want to see the people in conventions, so they're not just another comment, another like. I think it makes people happy to see what's behind the hands on YouTube, what's behind the post on Instagram. I think it's just hard to be vulnerable, and I could be just like doing a huge mistake, like talking about this stuff. It shows a vulnerable side of me, and that's always scary. This was a very simple drawing. I did not have a lot of brain power to be thinking of innovating designs, and yeah, sorry, it's kind of the same old thing. I think I'm gonna leave it like this for inks for now. I barely used a lot of inks, so once they dry, I can reuse them, so that's fine. This is it, fully dry. I don't think you can still see the thingy. I'm gonna take a photo and put it up here so you can see what I see. So photo is up there, and now bleach time. This is 50% water, 50% bleach. Nothing out of this world. What I recommend is just using a brush you don't love, because bleach is very harsh, and I just I ended up using this brush. Since most of the stuff I want to do is small details, it works great, but again, I do want to try and just like almost paint with bleach. I want to try that so bad. Oh, especially in clothes. That seems so fun. So I think I want to do that sometime. In this bit, it's working a little bit because it's just only one layer of ink. On the parts that it's a lot of layers, I probably will do the rack technique. Yeah, it works great. So I'm just gonna do that. Works amazing. Awesome. I just learned a new way to do stuff. Ain't that nice? Since we are almost done, I want to say thank you to anyone that's still watching me ramble my head off, just like talking and talking and talking about my life. But thank you to anyone that still watches my channel, even though I'm most of the time gone or just takes so long to do new uploads now. I'm gonna call it a day here. Thank you to anyone that's still here. You have been a star for being here so far. And don't forget you can use my code. Here is it written. I don't remember my code and I don't have my phone near me. So here it is. To get 15% off your next Ferris Wheel Press order and also support my creative journey. I want to say thank you to Ferris Wheel Press for just being the most patient people ever. And thank you to anyone that still is here despite me being a little bit not as present. I hope you liked this video and I hope you didn't mind me just like spilling my guts about stuff and life. Thank you so much and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!